Hope y'all enjoying Alabama Comic Con. It's really been a fun year this year. I like that we got 3 legendary female wrestlers here this year, and I think it's been phenomenal. We've had a lot of awesome guests throughout the years, and this year I think they really stacked it. I mean, Mickie James, Lita, Trish Stratus. Are there 3 bigger females? I mean, currently, yes, we're building the new generation of female wrestlers. I think the next 10 years, women's wrestling is going to be in a place it's never been before, and I think that's phenomenal. There are a lot of great things happening with women's wrestling right now, and I am really looking forward to it. I mean, it's been great to see. Like, we've had the 4 horsewomen come up. We got AEW struggling with their women's division, but they're working on it. The Knockouts division has constantly been consistent. Ring of Honor was doing okay with theirs. We'll see what Tony Khan does with Ring of Honor, but I think it's going to go a lot of places, and hopefully nobody relinquishes their title like CM Punk did. It was unfortunate. Injuries happen. I mean, it sucks, but we'll get some awesome matches out of it. We're going to get the interim champion. That's going to happen at Forbidden Door. I think that'll be really good. There's a pay-per-view tonight, right? Is it Hell in a Cell tonight? Yeah. Is Hell in a Cell tonight? Yeah. Really? I looked at the card and I was like, okay.
That good match is just a little awkward with no universal.
Yeah, I'm not sure what they're doing with that.
Roman supposedly he's going to do the movie, he's going to do the thing Rock used to do, where you show up for a pay-per-view.
Show up part-time, but whatever Roman does, Roman's doing phenomenal. Roman now, I think he's kind of untouchable right now. He's on that level that I think they wanted him to be at years ago, but it's finally happening. It just took changing his character. Who would have thought? Just change your character and maybe something will work. But WWE is consistently trying to we'll just stick with it. But it's like, no, it's okay. You can change things. You can do that. And WWE is notorious for not acknowledging their past anyway, so it's like, just change the gimmick. You know, it's fine. Look what they're doing with Elias, who's now what, Ezekiel?
I love that.
I kind of agree with Kevin Owens. I kind of think they're the same person.
I
like what they're doing with it. I love it. I think Ezekiel, he's a phenomenal talent.
They kept putting him in there. He
Yeah.
had a shot. I remember it was Elimination Chamber.
Mm-hmm.
He was in matches. They just never could quite get him there.
I think my main issue with Elias, Ezekiel, we'll see how it pans out. I don't have an opinion on it until I see how it develops. But Elias, he looked too similar to other people. Like, that's the problem.
Yeah.
I think a lot of these companies have. A lot of these wrestlers are starting to look the same, to where when we see somebody who's kind of different, it's like, oh, that's unique. That's something new. It doesn't look like the same guy I've seen for the past 20 years, you know? And I think with this new direction with Ezekiel, I hope it goes somewhere. It seems like it's going to fall into the comedy thing, but that's fine. There's been some fantastic comedic wrestling. It is a style, and I definitely think wrestling is something that could be for everyone. There are certain match types, there are certain storylines that can follow for any demographic or anything you're looking for. Wrestling doesn't have to be one thing. It doesn't have to fall in one lane, which is something I think I've loved about it over the years. It's continued to evolve, it's continued to separate, show diversity, and I think it's just been phenomenal. What do you know? I mean, obviously you're here because you like wrestling, I'm assuming. We got Stone Cold back there. I love him. I love that vest. I want it. But I think it's phenomenal.
Did you get away with the horror film?
It is after this one.
It said 11.
Yeah, it's at 12:45.
I'm sorry, they got the time. Sir.
Totally fine. Horror movies are fantastic. Did anyone watch Canes?
Yeah.
See No Evil? See No Evil, I thought was really good. I mean, it wasn't great. Let's be honest. It wasn't great. But for what it was, I thought it was fine.
I've always thought it was really good.
Yeah. I mean, WWE was dabbling in the films. Some of them were okay. A lot of them they were very cookie cutter.
Leprechaun Returns of or Leprechaun Origins.
Oh my God, Leprechaun Origins. How did they even get the rights to that? Do you know how they got the rights to Leprechaun? Did they buy it?
I can't recall. Leprechaun's one of the horror franchises that is one of those kind of that was in the period of the 90s. I'm not trying to get too off topic of wrestling here.
No, you're good.
That was a point in the 90s that horror was trying to find its footing.
Yeah.
And I just kind of left behind the franchise. I'm more in tune with the late 90s slashers, which is in tune with what was popular in the 80s too. But yeah, I couldn't answer that.
And that's kind of what See No Evil felt like to me. It felt like a throwback to kind of some of those older slasher films, and I thought it was great. See No Evil 2, it existed.
Yeah.
It existed. But See No Evil 1 I thought was okay. The Marine was okay. Like, none of those movies were like groundbreaking.
Like the Knucklehead. Big Show.
Knucklehead was good. I thought that was a big show. Paul White, he's a phenomenally entertaining person. People always make fun of him because he's constantly heel face. But he made it work. It was believable either way, and I think that regardless of whether you're face or heel, if you can make it work, that's what should matter. Like, if he was able to pull that off for how many years? I mean, he did it for a very long time. Yeah, I'm gonna ask y'all some questions. All right, when did you start watching wrestling?
I'm actually not much wrestling.
Yeah, I kind of.
I'm here for because of him.
Moral support, that's fine. That's how we bring you in. In about a year, you'll have an answer.
I know actually I'm more really.
I was a kid watching it. I didn't really understand what was wrong. So I would say roughly, I'm born in 2002, so like 2006 maybe.
Yeah. Okay, that's not bad. 2006 wasn't a terrible time.
So that's when I kind of like, oh.
Yeah, that was not a bad time. That was not a bad time. It was like what that the post-attitude era, I think. I think we were post-attitude era. That was the ruthless aggression era. How about you?
He got me into it 2 years ago, probably.
Good. So you were still relatively new. Who's your favorite?
I really don't know.
You don't have a favorite yet? That's not a bad problem. That's not a bad
I always
problem.
like Shawn Michaels watching the old matches.
Sean is great. Sean is arguably one of the best in-ring performers that's ever existed.
But he never drew.
Yes. He tried so hard, but he lost his smile.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. I was
So you're good.
I'm not much of a fan, but I do like Stone Cold.
Stone Cold's phenomenal.
Yeah.
Stone Cold, I think he can fit any generation. I mean, hell, just had a match at WrestleMania. That was phenomenal. So I couldn't believe I was watching a Stone Cold Steve Austin match at WrestleMania at this year. And it worked. Like, he actually did a match. And I was like, is this going to be a glorified segment where it's just, okay, punch, kick, stunner? But he worked a match. And I'm like, bro, I heard getting out of bed. And this man's freaking doing match. He's taking bumps on the outside. I was like, man, Steve, please don't die. I was really impressed with that. WrestleMania, the 2-night WrestleMania thing is weird to me. I don't mind it. I mean, obviously they're borrowing from Wrestle Kingdom, but it just leaves one lacking. I felt like WrestleMania Night 1 was good, but Night 2, it left a little bit to be desired. And it's like, I don't know how they fix that going forward. Like, it's going to be a struggle.
Cody come back.
Cody coming back was interesting. Him coming back as the American Nightmare. He literally just took his AEW and was like, I'm now in WWE. I think it fit for him and his story, his individual story, because Cody never really fit in with the AEW crowd and the AEW programming. His matches and his storylines, they always seem separate from everything else that was going on. So when everybody's like, I can't believe Cody jumped, I'm like, were you not watching? Like, I'm pretty sure that was his plan the whole time, was to get Vince to love me. He constantly wanted, yo, what's up, man? How are you? Good. How are you? Sure.
I appreciate it.
Yeah. Cody knew. We knew Cody was going to come back to WWE. It was literally just a matter of time. And now Cody, I think Cody, will they put a title on him? Probably.
Yeah.
Probably. Is he going to beat Roman? Probably not. I don't know who beats Roman at this point. I really don't. I don't think it's going to be Drew McIntyre. I don't know who you do it. If Big E, God forbid, somehow came back soon, that'd be perfect. It would be a wonderful story. But right now, I think just keep the title on Roman until you have someone who can actually worthy of taking it.
Okay, great.
And I still don't even know, like, are they keeping the belts together? Are they going to separate them again? Like, it seems like it's very up in the air. Like, they might not even know.
A lot of times, WWE, you're kind of on a whim.
Yeah, WWE will. Vince McMahon will literally change a show while it's happening.
Yeah.
Whereas Tony Khan, to his credit, he'll stick it out. Like, he wrote a show, he'll stick to it, and if it doesn't work, okay, I'll take the egg on my face and we'll do something better next time. And they're both not wrong, but at the same time, it's like, if you're Vince McMahon and you know you're going to change a show constantly, why not just have a plan B? Why not just make alternate routes or branching storylines where it's like, okay, I don't like where this is going, let's just turn it this way. Instead of just being like, let's just toss this entire storyline away. It's like, WWE does that so much where they invest you into these storylines and then there's no payoff. There's no payoff, or it's just dropped, it's never explained. But when WWE does storytelling right, there's nobody better. We can't discredit them. They do storylines right when they actually put some thought and effort into it. Whereas some of these other promotions, they might struggle a little bit. Like, Impact's still around.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Impact, but they're what, 20 years?
Yeah.
They're doing Slammiversary is like their 20-year anniversary, right? And I'm like, I remember seeing Impact at the Boutwell Auditorium here. And I was like, this promotion's gonna die. But they're still here.
I don't see how they are.
I genuinely am confused sometimes, and I watch their product sometimes, and it's not bad. Like, what Impact is doing isn't bad. But it's like, how are y'all still here? Like, it scratches my head sometimes. But I hope Slammiversary goes well for them. I really do. Like, right now, I truly believe we are in a new golden era of wrestling because with the internet, with all these streaming platforms, and with Twitch and YouTube and all these different ways, it's so accessible now to where you can now watch an indie promotion who maybe only draws 50 people in person. But with the reach of the internet, you could have somebody in Australia watching your show. Or you can have somebody in Japan watching your show. We can watch Japan wrestling, and it's just so accessible now that I feel like if a promotion doesn't succeed, they need to evaluate what they can do. Because all the opportunities are out there. You know, and the problem, I think Impact struggled with this. I think AEW struggled with it a little bit as well, but they're kind of fixing that. You don't copy what WWE's doing. You know, no matter what you do, as much as we may hate or love WWE, nobody's gonna get bigger than them. They're Disney. They're the top. So just do your own thing, like carve out your own little niche and just plug away at it and make it work and grow from that. It seems like that would work for me.